The ANC did not fight for you. ZANU-PF or whatever political party, the so-called freedom fighters, they didn't fight for you. They fought for themselves. What they say is one thing, the reality is another. Look at a person like Cyril Ramaphosa, a billionaire like Cyril Ramaphosa, who was a labor unionist. You know, labor unionist is supposed to represent the workers, right? Yes. But what happened to him after that? He got involved in the ANC politics, wrote the constitution, fair enough, did deals with white people and became a billionaire, and all the labor people that he was representing are still poor, broke, and miserable now, over 30 years after independence, or almost 30 years, 28 years or so. Patrice Motsepe, same WhatsApp group. And I'm looking at Zwelinzima Vavi. I'm like, the guy has lasted for a long time. The Secretary General of COSATU. He hasn't become a billionaire yet. Because you will see all these guys that rise politically, they rise at the backdrop of the suffering masses. They crystallize the suffering of the masses. Are able to articulate, that message. They are catapulted to the top only to betray the masses. You see, the masses are always betrayed by their own leaders. Even in ancient Africa, the black slaves, they were sold by their own chiefs, their village chiefs. Black village chiefs were selling black people to Europe, to America, to the Arab slave traders. The same is still happening today. Now, what I'm thinking, why is that happening? Why does it carry on happening? It's because there's something wrong with the majority. And I do not know if this video is going to come up with a solution. But this is just a diagnosis of the majority. The majority is too simple. They are not interested in information. They're not interested in education. They're not interested in anything that can transform better. They are looking for saviors. They make idols out of their leaders. You see, instead of making God the one who created them to fight for their backlash, no. They have got these political idols, musicians, celebrities. And all of the time throughout history, these people betray them. These people go to the top and betray them. I probably think one of the reasons why Jesus Christ was killed or was crucified was because as he marched into Jerusalem, and as you remember, he got arrested, and Herod told him that, Herod said to him, "Are you the king of the Jews? I've got the power to set you free." I believe there was a test of Jesus to betray his people, but he did not betray the people. He stayed true to the cause until the powers that be crucified him. Unless if you betray your people, they crucify you. If they don't crucify you, you betray your people. So either way, it looks like the power really is in the hands of the powerful few. Okay? You majority, you can come up with your own leadership, and the leadership can go to represent you, and your leadership is going to be asked to betray you so that they can join the ranks of the elite. Or if your leadership doesn't betray you, your leadership is crucified. And if they're not crucified by death, it's character assassination, and you people, the majority, are going to buy into it. You're going to hate the people that really do work for you. It's a phenomenon. What's happening in the world? The people that truly represent the majority, there will be so much character assassinated that they will be hated by everybody. And the people that actually are betraying the so-called revolution, will be hailed as heroes. They'll be international celebrities, be known all over the world as world changers, win awards, put up there. But what is not highlighted is the fact that they are there to keep the poor poor. Look at Cyril Ramaphosa. Who God? Look at Ramaphosa. Very good example for what the message of today is about. Strong union leader. He was a union leader in the 80s, early 90s, somewhere there, right? Which means he was a leader of the majority. And I remember a couple of months ago, he went to address some workers and they booed him on the stage. Somewhere in South Africa, was it Northwest Province or somewhere, was it Forest State or it's Mpumalanga? I can't remember. When Cyril Ramaphosa went there, tried to speak to the crowd, they said, ooh, and then said, oh, you don't want to talk to me. He said, ooh, the workers. Why? Because he betrayed the workers. Even the ANC betrayed the workers. You see, the government is a tripartite agreement between labor, business, and the governing people. So basically, the government must take care of the needs of the labor and business. We are not saying that government mustn't take care of the needs of business. No, they must. But at the same time, they should also take care of the needs of labor. So what happens is that the government is this entity in the making. It has been captured by the business side, captured by money. Money is a god. God is money. The money god has captured your so-called leaders because in reality, they were really never leading you for the cause that you are fighting for, but they were leading you because they want to get their god, which is money. Once money is flushed in front of them, they will take it and forget you. And if they not take it, they will be persecuted by those that have the money, that serve the god of money. So I think when Jesus was asked about money, he said, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give God what belongs to God. Jesus came to break the dynamic, to break that philosophy. Because I do understand that Jesus Christ was a political head, right? He was a political figure. He was an opposition political leader. That's what Jesus was. In case you didn't know, he was an opposition political leader. And people who followed him strongly believed he was going to set up a government, right? We know that, and we have established all that through the historical studies and studying the theology. Now, when he says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and to God what belongs to God, then Jesus begins to change the whole story and say, no, I am not leading my people for Caesar. I am not leading my people for Caesar, which means I am not leading the people for this establishment, this political establishment in the world. No. But I am leading the people for another type of political establishment, which has God the Father as the president of the whole world. It's amazing. Because all opposition political parties, everybody in politics, they are trying to get the favor of the sponsors, the shadow governments, the guys that run a government. So if you don't carry their favor, they will kill you. But if you solicit their help and try to accept their corrupt, corrosive theology of keeping the rest of society broke, and miserable, then they will uplift you and make you a global leader or national leader, whatever it is. Because you also will be worshiping the God whom they worship, which is money, silver, Caesar. So that coin of Caesar, when Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give to God what belongs to God, was our Lord now begin to teach us a new fundamental. that in politics, we should worship God. We should let God be the leader. Look at Israel. Israel didn't have a king but had God who was judging using his judges like Samuel and the others. And the Israelites revolted, and the Lord was angry and said that these people are not angry at are not denouncing you, Samuel, who was the judge at that time, but the Lord said that these people are denouncing me as their God, and therefore God gave them King Saul. But in due course, God gave them a king after God's heart, which was David, who believed in the Father Almighty. But these presidents of these days, they serve the God of this world, God of man, which is Satan. You understand? So, because of that, at some point, if you're going to be a political leader, you have got to make a decision. And that decision, and these guys don't play. Both God the Father and the devil, both of them, they don't play. You must be resolute. If you are halfway in God and halfway in Satan, you're going to die. You're not going to make it. Okay? So if you're going to be a political leader, make a decision. Do you want to be with the devil? Be with the devil and fight with the devil so that you can perish with the devil. If you want to be with Jesus, with God, be with him 100% and suffer the sufferings of the cross together with Christ, so that in due season you'll be victorious with him. That is the message to the political leaders. But to the majority of the people, as I said, that I don't have any clue. I'm just merely observing a phenomenon that I'm seeing, and I'm like, okay, do you have any clue? I don't have any clue. The majority everywhere, it doesn't matter, even in the United States of America, the so-called greatest country in the world, the ordinary Americans, they don't have a clue. They do not know how to move forward. They all trust in the Democrats and the Republicans who screw them over of every single 4-year cycle after 4 years after 4 years. They've got no clue. Everywhere in the whole world, the people do not have a clue. But I will tell you that the answer is Christ. But that is a mouthful. Let us end here for now. We're going to meet on the next video.